Well, John, congratulations on a successful title defense at heavyweight. So I guess, you talked at Media Day, fighting in Madison Square Garden was important to you, fighting in New York, fighting Stipe. So now that you got through it in such impressive fashion, I guess, what are the emotions now?
I feel really, really great. I haven't watched the fight yet, but based on my team's reactions, they said, John, you performed great. Being out there, you want things to go perfect, and nothing ever goes perfect in the cage. You're not going to land every shot. You're going to get hit. But I feel really good. I just can't wait to watch it. Yeah. It's hard to say what my reaction is. I've won a lot of world championships, so it's a very familiar feeling. But I am very, very grateful. I'm so grateful.
You said not everything goes perfect in there, so I guess relative to the game plan you guys put together and how it played out, is that relatively how you saw it? Like the trip at the beginning, the elbows, the 12-6 we saw in there?
Yeah. The coaches definitely wanted me to find that 12-6 elbow. I wish I could have landed it more legit. Stipe did a really good job with his defense and the bottom. The trip was completely unexpected. It was a takedown that just kind of came to me in the moment. And I was grateful to have been able to pull that off. One thing that I'm really excited about was that spinning back kick. Yeah. That was the one thing I'm really excited about. I have amazing coaches. I have Brandon Gibson, Greg Jackson, Coach Alex, Coach Aaron. I'm just naming some of my striking coaches right now. But I really want to give a shout out to my Taekwondo coach, a guy named Paige Bates from Albuquerque, New Mexico. His family owns Bates Taekwondo in Albuquerque, New Mexico. We started about 6 months ago. We started doing the spinning back kick. He would come over to my house 3 days a week, and I've worked that same kick from both stances 3 hours a week for several months. And Bruce Lee says that he doesn't fear the man that knows 1,000, 10,000 kicks, but the man who has worked one kick 10,000 times. And I put a lot of work in with that spinning back kick, and it's getting faster and more unpredictable. There's really no tell when it's coming, and it's a devastating shot. I didn't hit Stipe's liver. I hit him on the opposite side, but it sends shockwaves to a person's body. It can break a rib. It's just a really powerful shot. So I'm really proud of landing that shot after so many hours of working it. Shout out to you, Paige.
And then throughout the fight, especially at the beginning, it looked like that jab was really frustrating him. And then the kicks to the body, just by the time you finished it, it looked like it had taken its toll. He was getting slower and slower and slower. Was that just the plan to just methodically break him down until he just can't really out of his element?
Yeah, my goal was to I really wanted to Stipe. He beat Daniel Cormier with that left hook to the liver. He did it over and over again. And I really wanted to hit him with that same shot. But once I felt his punching power, I didn't want to lean to the right. My left. I didn't want to be by his right side at all because catching one of his straight rights could end your night. And so instead of working that left hook to the body like we had planned, I worked teeping to the body and the spinning kicks and jabbing to the body, and it worked out great. I watched his DC fight, and we noticed that Stipe can take punishment. He's a nightmare. He's a nightmare. You can hit him and hit him and hit him, and he shows no emotion. And I think that's why he's a 6-time world champion. But yeah, we put him down, and I'm grateful.
He announced he was retiring. He said, I'm retiring, I'm hanging him up. Did you get a chance to talk to him after the fight?
No, I didn't get a chance to talk to him. I spoke to every one of his coaches at different times, some on Octagon and some backstage. And they're all very respectful men. Again, you can see why Stipe is such a long-time champion. He has a really solid group of men around him.
And then Dana was in here, and you said if the Tom fight, you want to be well compensated. Dana said his quote was, "He will be, but he knows you're going to disappear. He probably won't hear from you. We won't hear from you. And then when you want to talk, you'll quote emerge and talk with Dana and Hunter." So I guess what is your plan moving forward for the next few weeks?
I'm not really worried about the Tom fight. I'm really worried about the Pereira fight. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do, and I think if the UFC wants to have me back, then I think that's the fight they'll make. I've been really clear about my intentions. That's what I want. And I mean, I just feel like anybody would understand at this point. Like, I'll retire the heavyweight belt if I have to. It's like, dude, give the guy what he wants at the end of the day, And I'm not talking to Dana directly. I feel like I'm at a place now where, like I want to take what I find to be super fights. I don't want to fight dangerous up-and-comers anymore. I want to fight dangerous, established champions. So Tom can have the heavyweight championship. I don't really care about it. That my value doesn't lie in belts anymore. I've created something much bigger. I want Pereira.
Dana was in here and he said that he would really like not to make the Pereira fight, but if you and Alex did hound him, he would consider it. But he said that realistically, that's not a fight he wants to see because he thinks your skills with the wrestling and the size would sort of outweigh what Pereira has to offer. I'm curious what you think about Dana's take on that.
Man, styles mix matchups, and I'm sure Pereira's knocked out many heavyweights in his day. I mean, he has a knockout power that transcends, like, it's bigger than weight. Pereira's special. And for me, it'd just be worth my while fighting against Pereira. People can call me a duck and a chicken. I'm going to go home and cash a massive check. And so the duck and chicken thing is kind of funny. Yeah, that's kind of what I want. And if it doesn't line up, then professing my love for Jesus in front of everybody tonight, and telling the world how proud I am to be an American champion, and fighting in front of my president, man, if that was my last fight ever, then I'm cool with that. That was the way to do it. I did the Donald Trump. That was the way to do it, man. So I think one of the really good things about negotiating is being willing to walk away from a deal. And that's the deal that I want. And if that's not what the fans want, then I guess I'll say sayonara.
You mentioned about sometimes you would hit Stipe and he'd show no reaction. In the first round, I actually couldn't believe he showed no reaction to the elbows or the fact that he wasn't cut. When you were landing those elbows, were you a little bit surprised? Like, what is this guy actually made of here?
It was weird, bro. Standing in front of him, his head seemed massive. Like, seriously, like, and I'm not trying to insult him. His head seemed massive. It was like a video game character. I'm like, I've never seen anything like this, I had to get past that. I'm like, what is this? And then when I would hit him, it just seemed like he didn't feel a doggone thing. He just showed no reaction. I think a lot of fighters would have quit getting that level of ground and pound, but he has this ability to just take shots. And I started to know as the time was going on that his body was going to be the only way to victory. And I started to really look for the body shots.
Two more quick ones from me. Obviously you mentioned about the disrespect Stipe has shown you, and you mentioned the clip of him talking about your children. There's been a clip going around online of him on a podcast, I think, with Rampage Jackson. Was that the clip you were referring to?
No. It was him in his living room, and I don't remember exactly how it was said, but pretty much what he was saying was, when my kids look back on me and my past, at least my kids will never think that I'm an asshole. And the MMA fan base, they're good. I know they're going to find it. And I wouldn't make that up. And even if I did make it up, it's the fight business. If I need to hype myself up, I'll hype myself up. But the truth is, he did say it. He did call me a bitch. And tonight I made him pay for it.
And last one for me. You mentioned training the spinning back kick for 3 hours a week and stuff. Did you do that because you thought, this will work on Stipe, or did you just fancy adding something cool to your arsenal and wanted to work on it?
I realized that I did the spinning back kick pretty naturally from the southpaw stance. And I can't call it natural. I spent many years working with Brandon Gibson on that move. But I wanted to make it better. I realized that the spinning kick is a move that can drop an elephant if you do it right. It's a devastating move. In my opinion, the most powerful kick in martial arts. And, we've all seen me fight for a while now. I don't really have one punch knockout power. So my mind was, John, why not develop a technique that could stop any man. And I came up with the spinning back kick. And I mean, you can be any fighter, and if I catch you just right, you're going down, no matter how well trained you are. So I'll continue to work it, and I'll have some. I'm just going to continue to work it. I'm sure all future opponents saw that, and it's just like that could easily happen to me. And so I'm going to work it more and more and more.
Jon, both of your brothers were in the NFL. You're the greatest of all time. I want to know, honest answer, who do you believe is the best athlete out of you and your brothers?
Best athlete, Chandler. My little brother, Chandler. Chandler's an extraordinary human being. He's a really special young man. I love him to death. And yeah, Chandler's a freak. If he decided to be an MMA fighter, I think he'd do very well. He's a very dedicated athlete.
And speaking of your family, your mother would be so proud of you today. I want to know, if you look back from, when she passed to now, I'd like to know, how much have you felt you've grown as a person, and how proud would she be of you, and what would she think of how you did today?
My mom used to worry about me. I was the one son that she stayed up all night. I was the first one to stop coming home at night, spending the night, staying out at parties. My mom used to worry about me a lot. She used to pray for me a lot. And I know for a fact that she'd be incredibly proud of the man that I'm turning into. I can't say turned into because we are all works in progress, But the man that I'm turning into, I know for a fact she would be very proud. I shouldn't say she would be. I know for a fact that she is very proud of me. I actually had a dream about her this morning where I was hanging out with my dad, and we kind of got sick of each other. And so I was like, I'm going to go call Mom. And the moment that I was heading to call my mom, I woke up this morning. And I know that was a dream that was meant for me today, just to let me know that I can talk to her. And it was a beautiful thing. I was at breakfast with my team, and I was just crying. I was just crying this morning, just thinking about my mother. And my mom used to be in the audience saying, "Johnny, get him, Johnny." And I felt her today. I really felt my mom today. She was here with me today. It was a really beautiful day. Thank you for giving me the chance to acknowledge her.
Jon, right here. You've always been a visionary of the big things. You talk about the fight against Alex. Have you envisioned a place, a perfect location for that fight?
No, I haven't. There's so many questions when it comes to what's going to happen as far as Alex and Tom and my future. I can't even think about it right now. All I want to do right now is take my team out and get them the biggest stakes in New York City. These guys deserve it. They deserve ice cold beer, whatever they want, because they have really committed to me so much. My team is an amazing group of men, amazing group, and that's all I want right now is just see them happy.
I just got two real quick ones, but just for suggesting, you just won here in New York City. The last 2 years before that, he won here in New York City, so there's a lot of history right there.
With Pereira?
Yeah, I mean, he won 2 years in a row and headlining here, and then you just won here. So
the one thing that's really cool is that I'm noticing that the fans are starting to shift. They're like, wait a minute. This Pereira fight is absolutely massive as well. And that's cool. I'm glad that you guys are seeing it.
So two quick ones. You talked about your team. You kind of amassed this dream team for this camp. One of the guys that was in your team was Gable Steveson. I mean, I think the world would love to see that guy come to MMA. You chirping him or anything, kind of suggesting him to come over?
Gable has everything that it takes. One of his first days at practice, one of my teammates got injured sparring with me, and Gable was like, I'll go in. I'm like, Gable, you might want to learn how to block and, defend yourself first. It can be a lot more difficult than what it seems. But that let me at that moment know that he is very game. I need him in the face at one of his very first practices. He ate it, and he looked like a little kid, like he just developed a new toy. He's going to be scary. he's going to be very scary when he decides to do MMA. He knows how to make men appear very weak. Me being one of them. And when he learns how to box and learns a little about jiu-jitsu, it's not a matter of if he'll become a UFC champion, it's when he'll be a UFC champion. And whether he trains in Albuquerque with our family or he finds a different team, whoever has him are going to be really blessed to have him. He's an asset.
So my last question, obviously in media days, there's a lot of sound bites is what everyone likes hearing. The big sound bite this week was you saying you wouldn't want to do business with Tom Aspinall. You said he's an asshole. A lot of people in the media kind of laughed about that, and even the U.S. broadcast was saying, like, what is he talking about? Tom Aspinall's the nicest guy on the planet. He never disrespects Jon. He says nice things about Jon.
There's a lot of people.
So what specifically has he said or done to make him an asshole?
There's just a lot of people on his nuts right now, and
But what has he done though?
Coming up with Jon Jones T-shirts, buying a little duck, and just the little shit that he does. He's annoying to me. And that's my own personal. He annoys me. I get to you guys, you find it entertaining, but I find him annoying, and I just don't like him. And at the end of the day, if I give him the opportunity to fight me, I want to be so compensated. I want to say it, I want that fuck you money, honestly. And that's just what it is. That's just what it is. Or else my life is perfect without him. I don't need him at all. And he needs me. And that's a good place to be in a negotiation. So
I'm sorry, I lied. One more question. You love Muhammad Ali. You've talked about him a lot. A lot of this week was comparing this fight and the Ali Frazier, you being the Ali side. What does that mean to you?
I don't know. I don't try to be Muhammad Ali. I really want to be the best Jon Jones that I can be, and I really feel like I'm doing it right. I'm really proud of marching to the beat of my own drum. It really feels good. I'm doing it my way. And it feels good. I mean, you see athletes stick around too long, and I don't want to be one of those guys, man. I just want to win in every form. I want to win in the record books. I want to win financially. I just want to win, and there's a lot of people that I piss off right now, and it just lets me know that I'm doing it right. I'm doing it my way. It should only make sense to me. It should only feel good to me. And right now it does. I know I didn't answer your question, but I just wanted to say that.
Jon, down here in the middle. Mm-hmm. I know you said that you'd be willing to walk away from negotiations if your demands aren't met. I know you haven't made those demands yet, but have you set a timeline for when you want those negotiations to have been concluded by?
I don't even want to call them demands. I don't want to put the wrong energy in the room when it comes to Dana. I respect Dana so much. He changed my life completely. I don't want to call it demands. I'm not demanding anything. I'm not trying to run anything. I'm not trying to boss anyone. I'm just clearly letting people know my intentions. And whenever Dana wants me to fight is when I'll fight, as long as we can come to an agreement. I really want to make that clear. I don't want to go there with the word demand. Respectfully, Dana and I have been closer now than we've ever been before. And as a young man, well, not even a young man anymore, as a man, I want to respectfully have a conversation with him and see if we see eye to eye. And if we do, I'll fight whenever he tells me to.
Okay.
Two very quick questions. Is there a dollar figure that equals fuck you money?
A very, very high number. It's going to be a very high number for sure.
Don't want to define very high yet?
No, I'm not. I've learned over the years not to really get into finances publicly, but I want to be compensated to the point where if I won or lost, that it really wouldn't matter.
Okay. And the last question, you have mentioned obviously that you would like to fight Pereira for the BMF belt. So last question I have is, why are you ducking Max Holloway?
I like that. You're funny.
No? No? All right. Thank you.
I'll give the guys a soundbite. Quack, quack, quack.
John, over here.
John, I know you're a big LeBron James fan, and he's in his late 30s, still dominating the sport. 4 straight triple doubles. You're in your late 30s, still the GOAT. I just want to know what is it that you guys have in common from a mental perspective that allows you guys to still perfect your craft even into your older years?
I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I'm grateful to have whatever it is. I definitely know that this is what I'll say first. I'm going to say my relationship with God. I'm far from perfect human being, but I do love God, and I feel like He loves me too. He loves us all, really. My fiance, she's taken me very far. Without her, I would not have made it this far. I know that for a fact. My team, the men in my life. I have extraordinary men in my life, and I am strong enough to know how to ask for help. And I know that we were designed to be together and to have many people that has your back. And I'm just surrounded by powerful, intelligent men. And I think that's why I'm still here.
John, over here. To your right.
Over here.
Down here.
You're like to the right? I'm like,
Yeah, sorry.
your other right, John.
So Francis Ngannou paid a little tribute to what you said after his fight. I think he came on social media. He says, Jones looked great out there tonight. Congrats, Johnny boy. I see you. Is that a fight that maybe interests you? Like, obviously, Pereira is number 1 on your list, but is that one that maybe interests you more than even Tom?
I'm here to talk UFC business tonight.
So Turki Al-Sheikh has been able to get these kinds of fights done in boxing. Maybe he could make it happen in the UFC.
Whatever Uncle Dana tells me.
I also wanted to ask as well, because obviously you're someone who's considered, the greatest of all time in your sport. Another GOAT was on last night in Dallas. Were you able to catch any of the Mike Tyson fight, and what was your thoughts on him getting back in the ring at 58?
I did catch the fight. It was hard to see him so old. Roy Jones Jr. kept saying it, man, those legs aren't working. It was really hard to see. He really sold it, with the highlight videos of him training and his physique. I wish he went and showed us his ass. That was a little wild. I'm like, Mike, you didn't have to do that. Mike's a freak, I bet, dude. I'm like, Mike, you old nasty old man. You old dirty bastard, you. It was hard to watch, but I respect him so much for getting in there. That was the cool part. It's just, I'm sure, they compensated him very well. He got to give a bunch of fans what they wanted, which is just to be alive, to see him compete. And for that part alone, I thank him. I'm sure a lot of us thank him.
And any respect to Jake for not, because when Holyfield came back, Belfort went and just kind of iced him in very quick fashion, and I think Jake probably could have done that later on in the fight, but he opted to let Mike get to the bell.
I don't think Jake gave him mercy. I think Jake played it smart. I think that's what it was. I think Jake knows that you're winning. Let's stop while you're ahead. Let's coast. Let's get through this fight. Because Mike can drop anyone with one shot. His legs weren't working, but that upper body was still moving, and those punches were still swinging. And I didn't view it as Jake giving him mercy. Jake coasted through that, like an intelligent fighter would.
John.
Sir.
I saw yesterday there's a video you were praying with Charles Oliveira, and today on the backstage you guys were looks like exchanging really beautiful words to each other. How did this relation start? When did you meet him? Why did you guys were praying yesterday? How did you guys get kind of close?
I'm not sure if we met each other in the past, but yesterday we were on the same Sprinter van heading to a press conference, and I could see that he was having a rough weight cut, and he just was real quiet, and he was just, he looked like he was hurting, and everybody on the bus, we were all laughing, and we were all, speaking English and everything, and I just wanted to include him. And so I just looked back and I was like, bro, you may not be feeling good, but you look great. That suit looks great. I was just probing at him to try to just start a relationship. and his translator started communicating for us, and you know, that big old smile he has and everything, and I was like, man, this guy's cool. And then at the press conference, I realized how much people love him, and then we were watching me and my wife were watching Embedded, and my wife's like, John, he's a Christian too. I was like, he's a Christian as well, and I was like, oh really? And so then I liked him even more, and when I saw him next, I asked my pastor. I was like, hey, would you pray for both of us? And my pastor was like, of course. And we came together and we bowed our heads in, and even though he probably didn't understand anything we were saying, we had that agreement right then and there. And after we were done praying, I was like, Team Cristo, which is Christ for Portuguese. And he understood that. And we just had a kind of an agreement that we're both going to represent. We're going to do our absolute best. And when the pastor was praying, he actually was saying that the victory is already yours. The victory is won. It is yours. And I believe him when he says that. And so now it was our job to do our part and give it all we had. And when I heard that he won, because we turned the TV off in my locker room, all my guys were watching the fights. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? But anyways, when I heard that he won, it was one piece of the puzzle that was already written. And then I just knew I had to go out there and do my part.
Just the last one, please.
John, here.
Yo, give this man one. Well, I'm going to answer your question.
I've
What's
been
up?
trying.
Come
I
on.
mean, I have at least 50 questions.
And I'm not going to answer 50 questions.
But I'll ask just one. You proved again that you're greatest of all time tonight. It was an excellent performance, pretty wise, pretty patient. Like it was a perfect performance. I really have a lot of questions, but I only ask one. You had a great career, like best fighter ever for sure. What was the most memorable moment throughout your career? The most like important moment?
Tonight was Stephan Bonner, Mauricio Shogun Rua, and tonight was incredibly special. Finishing DC was up there too. Stephan Bonner was the first star that I fought as a young man. Everybody around me told me that I was no one and I couldn't do it, and I had to really work on meditation and bringing up my self-esteem for the first time, like to beat Stephan Bonner. Mauricio Shogun, beating Shogun, taught me that I could be great. Kid from a small town, never good at anything. I became a champion. DC, it was just very personal. And tonight is the biggest moment of my life. Like I said earlier, you know, to talk about Jesus in front of our president and let the world know how truly proud I am to be an American champion. It felt awesome, man. To finish Stipe, it felt awesome. It felt awesome. And that's why I know for a fact that I can retire after a night like tonight. I can't pronounce it, but the Italian term vidi vici, or I came, I saw, and I conquered. I feel that tonight. I'm very proud.
John, right here. Just speaking of the fight tonight, I watched the clip a bunch of times on the spinning back kick. Were you able to see it land?
No, I didn't see it land, but I felt it.
Yeah. Do you feel like that it was a clean? Like
Yeah.
That was where you were going on it.
I wouldn't be surprised if he hurt a rib, if he fractured a rib. You know, and I guess we'll find out. I don't know if he went to the hospital or not, but you know, the liver shot is the liver is on the right side of the body. I hit him on the left side of the body, but those organs in there, when you rattle them, you know, the liver's not too far away. So either he felt his liver when I hit, or he felt his rib. But I hit clean, really clean.
So you didn't see that he was down until you turned around and then faced him. That's when you came in, right?
Yeah. With the new rules, I wanted to kick right away, but I'm like, let me not mess this up. I went in for the punches, and I really want to take the moment also to just say thank you to Stipe Miocic. Thank you for being a first responder. I absolutely love you. I love our law enforcement. I love being an American. I love our military. I love our firefighters. I love our nurses and our doctors. I appreciate you, even though I did not like you during this event. I appreciate you and I respect you so much. Thank you to you, your family. God bless you. Sincerely. I'm gonna put these funky shades back on. What's up? Did he? No, I didn't. That's pretty cool. Really? That's neat.